Hey everyone, it's Richard Nunn and I am Mark Collins. We are here today. We're talking about billion-dollar weather disasters. And the reason why is because NOAA came out billion. We're talking a big, big wallet, right?
And they continue to come. I mean, it's
Yeah.
we're putting these lists together, and they get longer and longer. And it seems like, especially within about the last 20 years, they've. I know the prices are going up on everything, and a lot of these are cost amortized to match, whatever was in the 80s to today. But every year there's more disaster, and it seems like they're nonstop on the West
So we
Coast.
had $18 billion disasters last year. And so that makes it the third highest number since they've really been kind of keeping these records since like 1980. This was what came out from NOAA this week. When you look at these billion-dollar disasters over the past 3 years, we've had consecutive,
Yeah.
top three disasters.
And hitting in the same areas.
Well, I mean, of
like
course,
I said, the West Coast is just
it's
been a
like the
battering ram.
hurricanes, the
Yeah.
droughts, the fires, all of that. Started in 2020 with $22 billion disasters. So that is the top ranking here. Then 2021, we had 20 disasters, and this past year in 2022, the third most expensive year with $165 billion worth of weather-related disasters in the area. So 5 of the last 6 have all accumulated over $100 billion in damage. And we remember Ian, right? So Ian was a very expensive storm, one that we really haven't seen since.
And the number, we had 152, and they found just in the last couple of weeks, they found a woman that was in the mangroves in a sailboat, and then they just found a man, I think it was on Monday, that had been missing. So almost all of the people that were still declared missing out of Ian had been found, but they did have to go back and revamp the lives lost from Ian.
So it's the hurricanes that are the most expensive. We had Nicole, we had Ian, and then the storm down in Puerto Rico. But also there were some derechos, some hailstorms, wind events across the Great Lakes. So it's not just the hurricanes racking up the charges. Even places in the middle of the country with droughts and wildfires have been very expensive. And so far this year, we've already seen at least $1 billion worth of flooding out in California, which is going to probably put 2023 back in the record books. We've got another 11 months here,
And we haven't even gone through hurricane
we haven't even
season
hit
yet, yeah.
hurricane season.
And they're
So-
not done. I mean, they're catching somewhat of a break. It's a weaker, much weaker front coming in this week for California. But you've already got so much damage on top of it that all of the bloated rivers that were parched just months ago are now completely full on top
Yeah,
of mudslides and
yeah.
everything else. So, for them, hope for all the best. But, the battering ram on the West Coast has really been anywhere from Northern California up to areas
Sure.
of Washington and Oregon.
And so I talked about that on news4jax.com. You can read the story about that flooding in California and how it is just as bad as Ian's flooding here in Florida, if not worse, because of the drought, the fire. It's really kind of just scorched the earth and made it hard for that rain to seep into the ground. Runoff has been a real problem. So check it out, news4jax.com. I'm meteorologist Mark Collins.
I'm meteorologist Richard Nunn. Thanks for joining us.